I am the director of Living Learning and New Student Programs. And I am excited to be here with you all tonight. I get to work with coordinating the new Spider Summer Series. And so tonight, I have my colleague, Caitlin Van Dyke, here to talk a little bit with you all about the Endeavor program, which I will also say I'm biased because I work with Caitlin on making this program happen. And so, again, I think it's such a wonderful opportunity for first year students to get integrated into the community at UR. So, again, I'm really excited to take some time tonight to talk with you all about it and to answer any questions. Also, just so you know, Caitlin has a brief presentation that we'll get started once I hand it over to her. And then we have time for questions at the end so we can help answer anything that you might want to know more about with Endeavor. There is a question or chat box down at the bottom. And so once you type that question in, we will either type an answer or again answer it live on the webinar. So with that being said, I am going to turn it over to Caitlin and get our presentation up.
Thank you, Sage. Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin Van Dyke. As Sage has shared, I am the Assistant Director for Living Learning Programs. So in my formal capacity, I work with the Richmond Endeavor, which you're obviously going to learn about tonight. And I also work with our Sophomore Scholars in Residence program, which is a second-year Living Learning program.
Is
All
it
right. Yeah, you're good.
perfect?
So, you may have heard about the Richmond Endeavor. Our hope is that you have. A lot of our students get to interact with faculty during the admitted students days. But if you haven't heard of the Richmond Endeavor, it is a year-long academic community where students get to live together in Laura Robbins Court and learn together in their Endeavor cohort. So how that works essentially is that students are taking one fall semester course that either typically fulfills a first-year seminar requirement or it might fulfill a major or minor requirement. As we talk about the classes that are being offered next year, I'll let you know which of those fulfill different criteria. All students are required to take a first year seminar course, so taking that in your Endeavor experience is a great option as well. Additionally, this is a community that students elect to be part of. So students have to go through an application process in order to participate in our community. There are 9 different course offerings next year, and we have an application that is open until May 31st. I have looked at some of our participants in our chat too, and I see that a couple of you have already submitted applications, which is exciting. And then our turnaround is actually quite fast. So students know about their status and the decision with Endeavor within that week of submitting your application. So you are very aware of that process very early on. But yeah, that's a little bit about the Richmond Endeavor to start us off. So why Endeavor? This is a question we get a lot at admissions days as well. So for our Endeavor students, students get to move to campus a couple days early before the new Spider orientation experience. So it's that nice way to transition into campus with a little less people. You are able to work with a smaller community when you get there, so you can find people that you can connect with throughout this experience early on. Additionally, like you are participating in that short academic courses during the time that you're on campus early, and that's with a faculty member who will be teaching your class the entire year and with your classmates in that specific class cohort. Your Endeavor faculty member is your academic advisor as well, which is a really amazing thing. If you are not super well versed in our advising model at the University of Richmond, students are assigned an academic advisor through a specific process through institutional effectiveness and through our academic advising resource center. With that in mind, though, not everybody's academic advisor may be in the program that your student is interested in. So if you're interested in political science, you're not guaranteed to have a political science academic advisor. The exception to that would be if you're taking a political science Endeavor class, that faculty member would be your academic advisor. So if you're looking at a specific program or major and you get into something like the business program, you're guaranteed to have an advisor in the business program to start you off in your college experience. In addition to that, Endeavor classes fulfill academic requirements for majors or minors or for first year seminars. So either of those opportunities is a great way to kind of get your footing when you start college here and to really start marking off some of those graduation requirements that you have or the requirements to get into the major program that you're interested in. So it is an awesome way to kind of hit those requirements early on while having additional experiences in the classroom and beyond as well. You build community with your peers in class and in the program, and also with your faculty members during that entire year. So it really is a very special opportunity because a lot of our students do get very close and they connect really well with their faculty member because you're not just taking one class with them, you're with them that entire first year experience at college. You also get to participate in experiential learning opportunities, which I do share additional resources about that later on. And the other perk is that there is no cost to join. So there is nothing other than you submitting an application and expressing your interest. There is no financial barrier or anything like that that prevents you from getting into this program. So I'm going to give you some time to think about like past participant testimonials. So we do have a really great group of students who participate in Endeavor every single year. On average, about 1/5 of our incoming spiders choose to participate in Endeavor. So it is a very large community. And this year we had about 160 total students enrolled. As you can see, there are testimonials provided from students in a variety of courses. This is from our experience survey that we do at the end of the year to collect some information from them. So for our first one, we have a spider who felt that the living learning experience of sharing a residence hall with students in their first year seminar/Endeavor course was a great experience. I love that I was always able to see a friendly face walking around Laura Robbins Court and that I could stop and chat with my classmates about classwork outside of the class. So you see that academic tie and that ability to find community in their residence hall. The next student in our marine ecology course last year shared that they were able to make authentic Mexican salsa for her peers. The bonding we were able to have and being able to share such an important part of my culture and being accepted for it made the experience unforgettable. Our faculty are really, really great at building community intentionally and to making sure that every student can show up as their full selves. So this was a really intentional piece of that connection for that student. And the last one I've got on here is that two of my closest friends at Richmond are people I met during pre-orientation and through my Endeavor class. We would end up every Thursday night working on our homework together, and we started sharing that we were both still struggling with transitioning to college. This was a defining moment in our friendship and where we started confiding in each other. So talking again to that community piece that Endeavor naturally builds. Pre-orientation is those first couple days that students move into campus early. So these are people that they connected with very early on and people that they have continued to connect with throughout their time at Richmond. So what classes are being offered next year? As you know, we've got 9 of them, which is exciting. All of this information can also be found on our website, which we'll make sure you have access to in the end too. And each of these courses has information about what the fall semester looks like, what the spring semester looks like, and any other pertinent information about the class and the faculty. But we are hosting the Business Society and AI program, which is through the Robbins School of Business. In this particular program, students are actually able to take classes that fulfill the requirements for students to be able to declare business. So it is a great way to connect to those courses early on in your experience if you are someone who's looking for a business major or minor. Friendship, Love, and Desire is a first-year seminar course. That course has been taught by Dr. Roddy in our program previously, and our students have really, really enjoyed the content. Traditionally, in the spring semester, which is more of a project-based semester, students have worked to bring in a guest speaker. In the past, they brought in a guest therapist actually who was on Married at First Sight in Italy. So he actually came to campus and spoke about toxic masculinity and the different dynamics that exist in relationships, both platonic and romantic. So there's a lot of really cool content there for students. Genetics in the Environment is actually a biology class where students will be learning about invasive species and how they impact our community around us. So thinking about invasive plant species and how they really impact the genetic development of plants in our region and around our coastal plains as well. Happiness Reimagined, Virtue, Meaning, and the Greater Good is in the Jepson School of Leadership Studies. So if you're considering leadership as a major or minor, this course actually will fulfill 2 of your leadership requirements. So that is a great opportunity to think about as well. Physics in Action, Energy and the Materials Powering a Sustainable Future is going to be a physics course. In this class, the faculty member is actually really looking at sustainable energy. So thinking about those wind turbines that you can see offshore and things like that. So trying to put that physics truly into action and understanding how it shows up in our world in the sustainability context. We have science, math, and research training, or SMART. That program is rooted in biology and chemistry. There's a lot of math components there as well, and it is one of our largest programs alongside our business program. Storytelling for Social Coherence and Social Change is a first year seminar class. Students will learn a little bit about literacy and how story really comes to life and the connections and traditions that you form through learning about storytelling. This course will also focus on some children's literature as well. So there's some really cool components there if that may be of interest to you. Sustainable River City is a geography-based course, but it also focuses on sustainability. I believe it also counts for a sustainability minor. So that is something to consider if you've ever been interested in sustainability or interested in geography. The Politics of Food is a first year seminar course, and that faculty member is really trying to explore what access to food looks like and who has access, how do you gain access. Some of these things will focus on the community context. So Richmond is very robust when it comes to services for individuals in our community. So there are things like community fridges. There's a lot of different food pantries that are around us and a lot of different support systems in place that she will work to explore with students. I did want to share, though, for students interested in genetics in the environment and sustainable river city, you do want to be comfortable getting in the water. What that can look like is traditionally students are going to be wearing life jackets. We do take safety as a very big priority, or you may be wearing waders in a lake. So you will be in areas that possibly are watery, possibly muddy, a little buggy even. So you do just need to have some comfort if you're going to be in the genetics in the environment or sustainable river city classes. That does not mean that you have to be this super outdoorsy person who's always on the river or anything like that, but you do need to be willing to try those experiences with your classmates. So just keep that in mind. If you absolutely do not like the outdoors, those classes may not be the ones for you to apply to. So who would I be learning from? So as we shared, our faculty members also would be your academic advisor until you declare your major. So for our students at Richmond, you cannot actually declare your major until at least the summer going into your sophomore year. So for the entire first year, the faculty member teaching your Endeavor class would be your academic advisor. And so these are just the faces of some of the wonderful people that we have the opportunity to work with. Sage and I are a little biased, but they truly are phenomenal. For some of your students who may have attended Admitted Students Day and done a mock class with a faculty member, some of these faces might be familiar. They really are very bought into the Endeavor program. They really want to mentor students and help connect them. A lot of our students, through their experience here, have gained internship access. They've done research with faculty members. They have really expanded their opportunities at the University of Richmond by being part of the Endeavor experience and by having these intentional connections with faculty so early on. So they are there for you for an entire year. And for some of our students, they're there for all four. So what experiences would I have? So thinking about the experiential learning side of things, we really work to defray the cost of any kind of like in classroom or out of classroom experience for our students. So faculty members do have access to a supplemental budget that helps offset these costs or completely gets rid of any cost barrier for students to participate. As part of their experiences in the Endeavor program, faculty members have done a variety of experiential opportunities or just social opportunities outside of the classroom. So some of these examples can include DC day trips. It may include attending off-Broadway performances at the Altria, which is a local theater we have, the Virginia Repertory Theater, and sometimes even Dominion Energy Center, where we've sent students before for opera performances. There is a faculty member who is teaching Friendship, Love, and Desire, who previously has gone to a jewelry making session at a local studio. Students in that particular section were able to create silhouette cuttings of a necklace for somebody or something that was a significant relationship for them. We've had faculty take our students on canal cruises in Richmond to see like the historical elements of it and to learn the rich history that we have to offer here. A lot of our faculty members like to take students water rafting, kayaking, canoeing, hiking, all of that. We really are in a great place that has amazing access to these outdoor sports as well. Visiting the Virginia General Assembly was something that students did this year, and they also attended a couple meetings on Capitol Hill in DC as part of the one class we offered. The offshore wind farm is something that a faculty member in the physics department is talking about. The Richmond International Film Festival has been somewhere that students have gone. And for some of our other courses, like our SMART class, our students are often so deeply engaged in the sciences and the lab components that they look for additional social opportunities. So, going apple picking has been something that our students have done in that cohort model. Our business school has often connected students to local firms in the area so that they can go visit these places and get to learn about the business and operational side of things too. So, there really are activities for every class. They are selected by faculty. Typically, they relate to the course content, but again, we have some students who are so integrated into the academic side that sometimes those activities may be very social oriented to get you out of a lab environment. So where would I live? All of our Endeavor participants live in Laura Robbins Court. For context, Laura Robbins Court, if you've done a tour on campus, this is the residence hall that they usually take our tours to. This is close to the admission building, and this is close to the dining hall. So you're on the other side of the lake. It is also the largest first year residence hall we have on campus. It is the only first year hall that has an elevator in it, and there are some really great community spaces on every floor. So not all residence halls are created equal when it comes to community spaces. Sometimes there might be a community space on the ground floor, but not on every floor. But Laura Robbins really does have a really great layout to find people. Oftentimes, students get nervous to pop out of your room and just talk to somebody in a lounge, but that is often how you make friends, just by having that camaraderie in your hallway. Your roommate must be an Endeavor, but they do not have to be in the same class. So if I'm taking Friendship, Love, and Desire, Sage can be my roommate if she's in the SMART program. That is okay. Unfortunately, at this time, we're not able to offer students who are in Endeavor the ability to pull in a non-Endeavor student into this living environment right now. So that is just something to keep in mind. However, there is about 250 students who live in Laura Robbins Court. Only about 150 to 170 students typically are Endeavor there. So you're not just by yourself. There are other students who are not Endeavor that live in that space as well. The QR code would take you to a virtual tour, which you can either do now or you will be able to view this on our YouTube page later, and you can take a tour there as well. So if you're ready to apply, if any of that has resonated with you, which I hope it has, our application deadline is actually May 31st at 11:59. For those of you who might be in a part of the country where you may not graduate until June, that is well before graduation for you. So keep that in mind because it may not naturally fall into that timeline in which you start thinking about college a little more. So make sure that you go ahead and submit your application by that time frame. You can apply for up to 5 communities. What I recommend that students put in there are short responses, about 250 words, about why you are interested in each class. We recommend that you really share that specific interest that you have, and you can also share in there, like if this is your number one class that you're interested in, you can share, this is my top choice because XYZ. If you have interest in multiple communities, go ahead and apply for them. You're not going to lose out by doing so. Our offers go out to students by June 5th as well. So again, quick turnaround on that front. Students will have until the 7th, which is a Sunday, to accept or decline their offer. And from there, if we have students on a wait list for a specific class or something, we will work with them to fill seats. Oftentimes, we also get asked, what are my chances of getting into Endeavor? So our admission limit is truly based on the seats available in courses. So that tends to be more of an issue for us than getting students into Endeavor. So about a fifth of our incoming spiders typically choose to participate in this process. While we do try to fill those spaces, there is no guarantee that you're going to get your first or second choice. So just keep that in mind. If you have 4 choices that you're interested in and you apply for them, like you might be able to get into like a third choice if there's no space in your first or second class that you're interested in. So just keep that in mind. What I often do too is if we have students who have only applied to one program and they're not accepted into that program, but we have additional seats, we do try to reach out to those students to see if there's alternate interest as well. And so we try to be highly communicative so that we can have as many students as want to be in Endeavor as long as we have seats for it. How are students selected? So applications are reviewed by faculty and staff before placing students in courses. So you can accept or decline an offer. So on the 5th of June, you would get an email from us telling you, hey, you've been accepted to this program. And you can either choose to accept that or not. If it's not the program you're hoping for, you are welcome to email me and let me know, like, hey, I don't really want to take this class, but I'd be interested in this one if there's any seats that become available. And I can make sure that you are on that wait list as well. So that is just something to know. From that process, though, we do move you into a housing portal. So our Res Life colleagues would actually put you in a roommate portal that you would only be able to see other Endeavor students to do your roommate pairing. They do have their own webinar where they talk about this process a little bit more. So you would have more clear details of what that looks like. But essentially, this program also guarantees you placement in Laura Robbins Court. And then if you can't find a roommate, it's not really a problem. They will go ahead and randomly pair you with somebody who's in the Endeavor program. For a lot of students, that sounds scary. But Sage and I have both worked in residence life and housing in the past, and oftentimes I think that roommate pairings that are random tend to work out a little better than sometimes trying to room with a friend. Even if you're coming in together and you've known each other for a long time, things look a little different when you're living together. So it is not, it sounds scary to live with a random person, but most of the time those pairings tend to work out a lot better for students. All right, so that is going to conclude a lot of the content that I have for you tonight about Endeavor. But this is just additional information for how to keep in touch with us. So, as I've shared, my name is Caitlin Van Dyke. I'm the Assistant Director for Living Learning Programs. This is my email at the top of this slide. So, should you have specific questions about Endeavor, should you have questions about anything related to really Endeavor for the most part. But I also do work with orientation like my colleague Jason Onesto. But if you have any questions like that, if you want to get connected with faculty in Endeavor and have me do a soft handoff for you, I'm happy to do so. We can talk individually too about Endeavor and why you might want to apply or answer any questions you have. Additionally, I'm going to encourage you, if you have an Instagram and you want to see what we're up to, you can actually follow us. That will cover both living learning programs and new Spider orientation. So if you're looking for information about what's going to happen during the orientation process, that's a great place to look. If you're looking for more information about Endeavor, you're going to see advertisements for what we're currently planning, and you're going to be able to see some of the things that our students have done in the past year as well. So definitely go ahead and follow our social media. You're going to see a lot more content coming this summer too. And at this time, I think we're going to transition to Q&A. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box.
Okay, we do have a couple questions.
Okay.
Let's see. I see on the slide it says the decisions come out on June 5th, but I thought you said earlier in the webinar that if you applied to Endeavor, you will get a response within a week. If I
Within
already
a,
applied 2 weeks ago, when will I hear back?
Right. Yep. Great question. So it's within a week of the application deadline closing. So we review everybody's application at the same time, just because we're all trying to get through the end of the semester and all the wrap up things. So within a week of the application actually closing, which is why it'll be June 5th. But I am sorry for that confusion.
Okay, the next question we have is, can I apply for Endeavor after applying to URise? Joe,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like
So, yeah. So with URise, actually, traditionally students who are accepted into URise will be told to fill out an application for Endeavor. So you can preemptively do this, or you could wait, because if you're in URise, we're going to send you information to make sure you do that as well. And with that in mind, and Sage, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe all URise students are automatically in the Smart Endeavor.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Anyone who's accepted into URise will automatically be enrolled in the SMART program. What I will say is we either on in our office or the faculty member, Dr. Jones, who works with URise, will be in touch because we do have you fill out the Endeavor application. So we have you in our like portal, but it's easy and you don't have to give the same answers because of already being accepted to URise.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Next question we have is that previously we mentioned that students in Endeavor could arrive at school earlier, but noticed on the website the enrollment date for Endeavor this year is listed as August 17th, which is the same for regular students. I'm not sure where things are listed. But what I can say is that our Endeavor students do move in on August 17th, as well as our international students. And then all the rest of our students move in on August 19th.
Mhm.
So there might be something incorrect on the website, which I can double check to make sure. But it is, again, students in Endeavor will move in 2 days prior to those who are moving in for New Spider orientation on the 19th. Okay, the next question we got is that my son will be an ROTC cadet. Have you had cadets in Endeavor program in the past? That's a good question. I'm
Yeah.
actually not sure that we have. Um, I was like, I do know that ROTC students do come in early, so I'm not sure. I just don't know the date of that. So we would probably have to work together to talk about what might be
Mhm.
possible there, which is not an issue at all. If you email myself or Caitlin, we would be happy to talk through
Mhm.
that and what might be possible there.
I was going to say athletes also move in early, and we have had some athletes enroll in the Endeavor program. So they have been able to participate in it. It's just been us working with faculty, or not faculty, but their coaches to make sure that those pieces can happen and that there's appropriate connection there too. I'd imagine in this capacity, like Sage said, we'd work with the cadre to make sure that everybody was on the same page and to see what your student could participate in from a pre-orientation lens.
Yeah, but do feel free to reach out to us so we could
Mhm.
talk through and just make sure that we could. Again, I'm certain we could. We have worked with other programs in the past that have also had pre-orientation programs, and we just sometimes again have to figure out a specific schedule to make things work. So we could certainly talk through that.
And I don't think it is a barrier to participation. If your student wants to be an Endeavor, we find a way to make those things work.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
Kaylee, you just did a really great job on your presentation.
Yeah, but if you have any questions, we'll go ahead and we'll put in the chat our emails so that you can access them should you have any questions. Happy to talk with you individually if there's something that like would be helpful. And then Sage, I can put yours in here
Oh,
too.
great. Thanks, Caitlin.
Yeah. So then if yeah, anything related to Endeavor specifically would probably come to me, and then New Spider Orientation, you can reach out to Sage as well, as she is largely over that process with my colleague Jason. So if there's anything you want to talk through, if you have questions, I know a lot of our potential business students have been asking questions about AP credits too. I've worked with a couple of them, and I've connected them with faculty as well. So happy to do so. If you want to know logistics about what kind of potential water activities might be involved in genetics in the environment and Sustainable River City, I can work with faculty to get you that information as well. So anything that could be helpful, we can do for you. But thank you for spending some time with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I'll also just reiterate Caitlin said earlier about our YouTube channel. We are recording this video and we will post it online. So the website that you signed up for this webinar on, we will post the link there that will link you to the YouTube channel and this video. So if there's information you want to revisit, also feel free to check it out there. But again, thank you to everyone for attending. Thank you, Caitlin, for presenting. And like Caitlin said, if you do have any questions at all, please reach out to us. We're happy to help. And if there's anything you have questions about, again, we're able to connect you across campus. So again, just don't hesitate to let us know. But thank you again for being here. We look forward to welcoming you in August. And again, hope that you'll strongly consider applying for the Richmond Endeavor program. Again, like I said, biased, but it is an incredible experience and some really great faculty involved. So, with that being said, I hope that everyone has a wonderful evening. And again, let us know if you need anything.